Okay, so we're currently live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on 7 different platforms. So just wanted to say hello again and talk about perseverance. See, perseverance is something that we hear a lot of motivational speakers talk about, and we sometimes forget that perseverance is not just with regards to our business or with regards to life, but or our attitude. It's also with regards to every single aspect in your life, your health, your relationships. So let's understand perseverance and let's talk about perseverance and see how we're actually implementing them in our lives. I'm gonna click comments here so I can see who's jumping in. And again, let me know where you're jumping in from. I hope you're joining me with your cuppa. I have my tea here, and I've just found that depending on what I'm trying to do, oops, will dictate what my tea has inside. So, again, great morning to everyone. It's a beautiful Wednesday. In the US, a lot of crazy stuff's happening right now, so good luck to you. I hope the results turn out exactly what it is that you're hoping for your future. Let me just adjust this, adjust a little. Oops. Okay, don't know how to adjust it. We should be fine. All right, so let's talk about perseverance. I mentioned in the description that perseverance is about pursuing something or going ahead, pushing forward with something that's difficult, regardless of how difficult it is, and regardless on whether or not it's working quickly and giving you the results that you want to see, that you want to achieve. It's very difficult to persevere with things that are huge. The bigger your goal, the bigger it is that you want to accomplish, the more difficult it is to just keep pushing and just keep going. And I wanted to talk to you about that today because today I was faced, well, actually, since yesterday, I was faced with a few decisions that I've had to make with regards to the treatment that I'm doing with my frozen shoulder. A lot of you have known that I've had my issues with frozen shoulder since we arrived here, and I think it was about May that I started seeing it decline. Um, February in Jakarta, I was still swimming. I was doing freestyle backstroke, breaststroke, and I was good. End of March, we moved here to Australia, and um, by April, we were doing exercises online with Jackie. And come May, I think May, June, my function on my shoulder started deteriorating. And despite it being something that I've had for a bit, it wasn't until around that period that all of a sudden the deterioration was really fast. So decisions had to be made back then. And now, after what, maybe May, June, July, August, about 5 months into my treatment, um, or did I start my treatment in June, July? So let's just say about 4 months into my treatment, five procedures, five perineal injection treatments. I now have to make a decision as to, am I gonna keep going? Am I gonna stop? You know, when is it right to stop? Does that mean I'm not persevering with my treatment? Am I not being proactive in my treatment? So those are a series of questions that I've got for myself, and I thought, let's talk about it. Let's talk about perseverance. Let's talk about moments in our life where we find ourselves needing to look at what we're doing and figure out, are we making the right choices? Are we trying to take the easy way out? Are we pushing forward? Or are we being fearful of, staying on and pushing and doing the hard yard. When is it being silly and when is it smart to stop what it is that you're doing? It's a really beautiful topic. It's a difficult topic to talk about, but it's one that has to be discussed, right? Again, no matter where it is, whether it's in your business, whether it's a business goal that you've got, if you've been doing it, pursuing it, and you've been at it for about 6 months to a year, and you're thinking, should I be pushing forward? Should I stop? When is it right to stop? When is it wrong to stop? When does it stop becoming a part of perseverance? Are you not persevering when you go towards a different route? What does it all mean? And that's what we're going to be discussing. That's the depth of perseverance that we want to get into. Hey Ajay, hey Connie, apa kabar? For those of you that are joining from my private page, just say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. Private page, make sure that you tell me who you are, because on this platform I can't see your names straight away. I'll see it when I check back into my Facebook uh, business page. Just put your comments and I'll see it straight away. I'll see who you are. Okay, so again, as I said, 4 shots, sorry, 5 shots after, so I had my fifth set of perineural injection treatments. When I saw my physio, been doing physio every three, every 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, sorry, twice to 3 times a week, and doing my movements, my exercises. And now I need to know, should I keep going, should I not? And it's the same with everything in life. With the whole lockdowns, some people are confused about what they need to do. Should they keep going the direction that they're going? Should they persevere in that direction? Should they now stop and rethink where they're at? Is it wrong to do it? See, in life, I don't think there's any wrong decision. The only wrong thing is when you don't make a decision. Making a decision, sticking to your decision up to a certain amount of time, I think is the right way to go. See, if you're being smart about decision making, along the way of the decision that you've created, you will have to take note that there are tweaks that have to happen along the way. There are changes that have to happen to be able to achieve the goal that you want. There's no straight line in a decision, there's no straight path. Even if you know the goal that you want and the path you want to take, there will still be bumps and detours and slight turns along the way because of unpredictables, things that happen in life that you did not foresee. COVID is one of them. A death in the family is another. Movement in your career, a closure, an opening, all of that will dictate how you're going through your path. So looking at and just taking into account this treatment that I'm doing with my frozen shoulder, I've stuck to the decision of taking the perineural injection treatment route and not the cortisone injection route. And following the, the successes that we've had and assessing, okay, is this now still the right way, is what I need to assess. I don't think, I think you're being, I think the wrong thing to do is saying, this is it, I'm going to stick to this. If this doesn't work, that's it. I think you have to be clear about what your main goal is. And in my case, my main goal is to be able to get rid of my frozen shoulder in the quickest amount of time that I can. When you read the materials on frozen shoulder, they'll always say it's between 2 to 5 years. I do not want to go that route. The last time I had my frozen shoulder, it took me 2 years to get over it, and I don't want to follow that same route again. And back then, I did a couple of cortisone shots, and it took me that long. So now I'm looking at changing my course of action, and I did the perineal injection treatment option. Looking at that option now and looking at the combination of perineal injection treatment and physio, I now have to reassess. And this happens even in business. Every time you hit a point, you have to have, like even in offices, employers go through an assessment of their performance. And depending on how they perform will dictate whether or not they need to make changes to how they're performing, or their attitude, or their mindset, so that they can proceed and progress further and improve in their development. It's the same with your health. When you choose a specific route, whether it's a diet, whether it's keto or vegetarianism, whether it's uh, a low carb, high carb diet, whether it's intermittent fasting or just, um, let's just say, 2 full day fasts, you need to decide and have a period where you allow that to keep going, and then have an assessment period to see if what you've done has actually worked. When it comes to diets, you have to have a set of parameters that you're going to be basing your decision on, whether it's blood tests or body impedance analyzer results, a scale and tape measure. You know, you need to have tools that you're using to be able to help you create those assessments and help you make a decision of how to proceed from there on, from every assessment point. Your treatment protocols, whether you've had a broken leg, a broken arm, an injury, a traumatic injury, create assessment points, assess where you're at, the improvements you've created, the limitations that treatment has given you, the um, advancements that treatment has given you, and how you can tweak it and how you can go further ahead, and keep improving yourself in the process. So, when it comes to business, it's the same thing. With business, again, you have your goals, you have your programs. So, let's talk about perhaps my coaching programs. When I created my coaching programs, I had to make an assessment and decide whether it was beneficial to have different coaches working with me, or if it's just me with myself. Um, should I incorporate different modalities in my coaching program, or just stick to nutrition? Should I increase my number of clients within the coaching program in a monthly period? Do I assess that every 6 months, 3 months, or 6 weeks? So, again, you have to create your questionnaires, you have to create your parameters, you have to create your time frames. Without those periods of assessments, you don't know if you're going the right direction. Persevering is different from just constantly moving forward. Persevering is pushing forward, but knowing that you're sticking to the goal, to that same end goal, and assuring yourself that no matter how difficult the road ahead is, no matter how steep the turns are, or deep the holes are, or how high the bumps in the roads are, that you will continue sticking to working towards achieving your end goal, and taking into account the right route, or making the best decision that you can make to ensure that you have that same end goal. So it's never straight, it's never just one way. You have to open your mind and accept other options that might be there. Collate all that information, base it on the assessment that you've created, have a set of parameters, and then make your decision. Because if you're not doing that and you're just constantly moving forward, it's almost like moving forward blindly. There's an article that I read talking about how we have to have those, I forgot what you call those blinders. Is that what it is? That horses have, so you're just looking straight. And if you have those, it stops you from getting distracted. I like that concept. Except you also again have to have your end goal. Use your blinders, have your end goal, know when the assessment period is, remove those blinders, assess what has happened, open your mind to what other possibilities you haven't incorporated back into um, your, your processes, and implement those so that you can get the best result that you can get. There can't be perseverance without mindfulness. You have to be mindful of every action you're taking and every step you're taking along the way in making decisions, in following steps towards achieving your optimal goal. So remember, understanding every step you're taking, being mindful of the results, being mindful that you're taking into account all the different parameters is really crucial in dictating whether or not you'll be successful in your goal. So, how many of you have found yourself in that situation where you're just following one process or one system, and you've been doing this for the last 6 months, 1 year, because you want to stay focused and persevere in achieving your goal, but have forgotten to remove the blinders once in a while and just see what else is out there? I'm really curious to find out how many of you have gone through that. And look, again, life is about learning. There's no right or wrong process, there's no right or wrong way. There's only constantly learning what works best for you. So share with me how it's been for you while I have my tea again. Hey, Sear. Is it Sear 8? I think it's a code. Not sure if that's really your name, but hello and thanks for joining me on Instagram. Again, those of you on Facebook, I need to see your names because I can't see who you are. I don't think I've put it on public as yet. It is being shared privately on my personal page because my public pages, my business pages also have their um, lives going on. Let me know how this whole situation has affected you. If you've been in a point where you felt like, hold on, I am persevering, but then I am not opening my mind to what I'm doing, or I'm not being mindful, I've just been following blindly. We've all fallen into that trap. We've all taken into account what leaders and mentors have taught us, forgetting, forgetting that sometimes you need to tweak those processes. Sometimes you need to tweak those steps because they don't quite work for us. I think the other thing that's really important to be able to achieve your goals is to have a mentor, a coach, or in my case, practitioners working or I'm working with who are open to listening to what it is that you're really feeling, where you're at, what you're wanting to achieve. Because if you are not all in the same position, if you're not all looking at the same results or aiming for the same results, then it will be very difficult to keep moving forward and keep moving um, towards the goal in the most effective way. The only way it will be effective is if you're being proactive with your business, with your life, with your relationships, with your health and your health goals. And if you're working with your partners, your coaches, and your practitioners um, throughout the whole process. And I've been very lucky because I've had really, really great practitioners. I've had crappy ones through the years as well. So I've been very picky who I work with. And again, understanding that they the listening has to happen on both ends. I will not claim to be an expert in everything, and that's why I need my coaches, my mentors, and I need my practitioners that I work with. But if I don't listen to what they have to say and only insist on what I have to say, or for them to listen to what I have to say, then it also won't get me to the goals that I want. Because having mentors, having coaches, means that you have people that have gone through the same processes and have achieved the results already, and you're wanting to use that template to fast track your success. So when I went for my perineural injection 2 days ago, oh, yesterday, sorry. Oh, it's very loud. So when I went for my perineural injection yesterday, what we talked about, so that's what happens when you're talking out this. Anyway, what one of the things that we talked about with my practitioner is um, what the next step should be. You know, I asked the hard question of, have you had another patient who had the same number of um, shots that I've had, with the same injury, getting results much better than I have? It's a scary question to ask, but it's a question that has to be asked. It's a scary question for both myself and my practitioner. Scary question for me because now I'm going to have to see, am I doing as much as what others have who have succeeded in their treatment programs? It's a scary question for my practitioner because now he has to answer the question of whether or not he's actually helped someone improve with their frozen shoulders. And the answer was he's had people get results after their fourth perineural injection, and I'm on my fifth. So we have both said we will be assessing my progress this week and see if we are still on the right path with my treatment protocol. And I've also just spoken to my physio and said, let's push harder this week and this next couple of weeks, and let's see how far ahead we can go. Because only when you try and push harder and push forward will you be able to see if everything that you've worked hard for is actually working for you. If you shy away, or if you decide, oh my God, this is too scary, I better stop now, then you'll never see your results. And again, it's only when you've pushed yourself forward will you be able to know, okay, how should I tweak this at the end of a couple of weeks? What is the next best course of action? If you don't assess what your options are, if you don't open your mind to what your options are, you will never be able to move forward in the most optimal way. Being closed minded is not going to help you. Opening your mind to the possibilities always is the better option. Keeping your mind on the end goal is still the main thing, but do it with both blinders and removing the blinders. The blinders are really important because there's a lot of temptations. There's a lot of things that can say, "Oh, you're not doing the right thing," and people who've never been in the same situation giving advice. I think that's one of the biggest thing. If you are taking advice from people, make sure they've been in the same situation. They've actually succeeded in their treatment, and they've they've been able to help others go further in that situation, because you can't compare yourself with somebody else who's gone through something totally different. That was a big sip. So those of you on Instagram, I think you're hearing me very clearly because I've got this thing. And on Facebook, I apologize for the loud noise. I have you on a fluffy mic, hoping that all the background noise is blurred, and but I'm not sure if that's working very, very well. So, again, thank you for joining me, guys. We've been on for about 24 minutes. I'd love to know if you guys have any question. Meantime, let me invite you next week, next Wednesday, on Cuppa with Michelle, with a follow-up interview and Q&A with Dr. Um, with my doctor who's helped me with my frozen shoulder, Dr. Pryatt, and joining us is my physio, Jamie Bowling, who is also helping me with my improvements. the best thing to take into account is when you're working with a physio and a doctor, that they actually communicate, that they're open to listening to each other, they're open to giving each other feedback. If you have practitioners that don't want to work with your practitioners of choice, and that becomes tricky. I've been in that situation. I'm seeing Dr. Pride without any referral letters, paying full price for my treatment because my GP did not believe in this course of action. Now, that becomes tricky when your GP, a person you've trusted, does not recommend something. Are you on the right path? My answer to that is you need to do your research, you need to do your homework, and again, you need to have your series of questions that you're ticking. And on my end, my answer to that was he was taking me to the same course of action we took when my frozen shoulder took 2 years to actually get better. I want it faster. So I couldn't take the same course of action. Remember the saying that goes, if you want to have change, then you have to change things. You can't have change if you're going through the same path, doing the same things, and you're not changing the parameters. So I had to change the parameters. I wanted a different direction. Have you been faced with that same thing? Have you found that perhaps your coach or mentor isn't listening to what you're wanting to achieve, or is being narrow minded, or just seeing one way towards your goal and not necessarily listening to the direction you want to go? I think there's always a compromise that can be made. There's nothing that's definite. No one in medicine can say they know all the answers. No one in natural therapies can say they know everything. But if you both listen to each side and assess what works best for the situation you're in, then you'll be able to actually take your best course of action. The more open minded the people are that are working with you, the better the success for you, for your health goals, for your life, for your relationship goals. So it's never about the practitioner, it's always, always about you. It's always about your goal. It's always about whether or not you're achieving the set of parameters you put in place. But it's also about you listening to them, you opening your eyes and your ears to what's available, you assessing all that, and hopefully being able to discuss with your mentor, your coach, all these different options and making a decision together. Because only that way will the best course of action happen. So I still don't have full movement. I've done so much though, and I want more. I want to be able to achieve more. But looking at what I have been able to accomplish, um, we have been moving forward every step of the way. It has been better and better each week, each month. And it's now time for us to see, can we do a big jump and go on to the next level? So I'd like you to join me and Dr. Prayat and Jamie Bolding on Wednesday. It's going to be at 3:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Oh, sorry, we're daylight savings, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And so that simply means New South Wales, ACT, Victoria time zones. And I'll give you the time zones for the different countries that are following us here. And again, thank you for trusting me with your health, with your life goals, with your health goals. And let's keep working together and moving forward together. Let me know if I can help you with what you're going through. Let me know if I can help you with moving forward, whether it be with your health, creating your own herbal teas, herbal remedies, whether it's about your treatment protocols, your diet, your nutrition, your lifestyle. Let me know and let's work together to achieving your goals faster, better, and with an open mind and full time perseverance. Have a great day, everyone. And again, thanks for joining me. If you've joined me live, send me hashtag live. If you've joined me on a replay, send me hashtag replay. And if you've had any questions or if you have any questions when you watch this, please do type it up and I will respond to your questions. Thank you for joining. It's a wonderful, wonderful day here in Canberra. I've had to open the umbrella up because the sun is so harsh right now, but it's a welcome, welcome sunny day. We've had, well, for me, a long winter after having no winter the last 5 years, and we've had more than a week of rain. They said it might be raining again all day tomorrow. So not really looking forward to that, but really happy to be out here right now with you, with my couple. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Tomorrow, we will be discussing different topic, which I will be posting. So follow me. Meantime, all I wanted to do is listen to this, see how it relates to you, to your life, to what you're going through with your health, with your relationships, with your business, and tell me what you've found that's similar to what you're going through, what your experience has been, and what the difficulties have been, or even the successes. I'd love to hear the successes. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning and good evening, depending on where you're joining me from. Have a great day. So we now need to stop this. Oops. Don't know if we did that right. Hey, Sudka Consciousness. Hello. And I need to turn off my live. Oops, there we go. And am I still going live on this? I've never done this on my phone, so bear with me.